Well, hello Mini Cooper fans, Mini Moke fans, other interested parties. This is Jamal of Cooper Road Mini and Mini Mania. Hello today, on my day off, here's what I do. We're going to do a little Moke update and quickly go over what's happened. After about 750 miles, we had a bit of a tragedy. Unfortunately, one of our idler gear bearings failed. And I've set up dozens of these, and there was something strange happened here, and I just still don't know what. But here's the result. This gear was as brand new a 4-synchro idler gear as you would find. This case is the one that I had in Wales at my grandmother's for decades. This thing was put together so nicely, no chances taken. And yet, it was a bit strange. This bearing, these brands have changed. The suppliers have changed since I built these gearboxes routinely. This one here was kind of hard going in, felt a bit funny. So I actually talked to Tony about it at Mini Mania, and we thought, put another one in. Let's not risk it. So I did. Another one went in there, felt fine. The normal amount of play. The end float was set up perfect. And it ran fantastic, hundreds of miles. The linkage was working nicely. It was shifting better. But unfortunately, things happen, and it was about 60 miles away in Downeyville, possibly, and made it all the way back to Nevada City. But in so doing, destroyed the case and the housing and the gear. So, on our horse we get, and we have prepared a new 4-synchro box. This one actually from an Austin, America, which was here in the U.S. So the inside of it was really pretty nice. We can see we've got the perfect thrust surface here. And what we're trying to do, since we're going through this again, we just thought, well, alright, we're going to lay everything out and decide what set of gears and what's the best way to put this together. We have all sorts of options. We can go completely A+. This is an A+ gear set. We can see the groove around the center on the outside of these gears. Goes with the A+ lay gear. We can see the groove in the large gear here, and they all use the same first, second synchro. They all use the same, relatively the same first gear. This is from the Austin, America, and it has this black coating that some of the later gears seem to have for what they probably called improved shifting at the time. The one that we had in the Moke, nice looking gear, but it's more metallic over here. It's the earlier type. That's basically a cast iron synchro riding on a metal cone. So we're going to try to put a set of these in here. We might go ahead and go full A+, and that would require the A+ lay gear and the A+ input gear. You can see the groove there. First gear is the same. What a going A+ will do, here's the 2-step lay shaft. That's what's found in the normal 4-synchro box. We can install a 3-step here. We see we've already slipped this one in actually. But what it does, it doesn't quite go in far enough to allow access to the slot in here to locate it and lock it in place. So what's required is a little clearance grind right here at the inside of the housing. And in fact, if you look at any of the later A+ housings, they just took out a big radius cut in here. There's plenty of material here to support the shaft as is. You can see without the other box sitting here how flush that is. That's just a flat edge there, whereas the later ones have a big radius to allow the 3-step. The 3-step lets you run a bigger bearing here, lets you run a bigger thrust washer here, and it just needs a little bit of clearance so that you can reach the lock tab back here. And we can go full A+. Of course, reverse gear is unique to the 4-synchro. The way that it engages is unique. There's a slot here for the lower, the linkage that comes up from below the shift fork. But all of these parts touch first gear and the lay gear. And where they do, it's straight cut, which all of the lay gears over the 4-synchro era, here's the pre-A+ pattern. And here's the actual 22 G927, which is the 4-synchro style using the big deep bearing here, the 2 bearings here. That's the one that was in the Moke. Perfectly fine. It's just we may end up going with an A+ type, which would be a different type of bearing, different lay gear. So there's a quick update. Unfortunately, you know, it's kind of sad we had to do this again, but that's one nice thing about all these minis. It's really, there's not much to these. One evening, out came the engine. Next night, separated it apart, found the wreckage. First thing I saw was this discoloration. I went, oof, something doesn't look right on the outside of this. And sure enough, it wasn't. But we'll have it back together here, probably with even more improvements. We've got our shift forks laid out here. We'll do a little update there. We're going to modify the 3 synchro fork to use in the 4 synchro box, which for whatever reason they really weakened it by cropping it down. You can see the 3 synchro version is much stouter, has a much nicer grip on the gear, but we'll get into that inside. Progress, progress.